Hi, my name is John Mcluckie, and I'm a very, very blessed and very privileged professional level 3 Qhht practitioner. This is what I do full time as a living. And this is my story, and it's a true story, even though it's really, really strange and really, really weird, of how Dolores Cannon came into my life. And I had absolutely no idea who Dolores Cannon was, what she did. Never heard of her before in my life. And so my story actually begins in early 2018, and I was learning past life regression from a different course, and it was just past life regression. But the trainer actually, she did the level 1 course and met Dolores Cannon herself. So then what happened is, one day I came in and we were doing our training, but I felt really, really drawn for some reason to sit right in front of the projector. I'd never sat in that chair before, but I just knew that that was my chair, and I could just feel it, and everything in my body was saying sit in that chair. So what happened was, the projector started, and it was actually a tribute to all of the pioneers in past life regression. So the first one was Dr. Michael Newton, who did Life Between Lives, and then Dr. Brian Weiss was the second one, and he's a very famous psychiatrist from America who wrote a very, very famous book called Many Lives, Many Masters. And then the third one was a lady called Dolores Cannon. And as soon as her picture came on, I was just drawn to her. We have a thing in hypnosis called eye lock, and it's when people are staring at something but they're not actually aware of they're staring at anything. That's when somebody's put themselves in a trance straight away, and you can go like that, and they're just in their mind. Well, that's what Dolores Cannon did to me as soon as I saw her picture. And then I saw her face, and then around her picture I saw this beautiful aura, and I've never seen an aura before, so this was so weird to me. And the aura was a really, really light blue. It was just a beautiful pale blue, and it was all shimmering around her. And then outside it was this white barrier, and it was just pure white. And then outside that was this deep, deep dark blue, and there were like flames coming off it. And I just remember being in awe and just going, who is this woman? Wow. And then while the trainer was doing the tribute, I had this message in my mind, and it was a woman's voice, and I'll never ever forget it, because all I was getting from Dolores Cannon was just pure love. I was just so drawn to her. I just felt so safe in her presence, and it was such a beautiful feeling running through my body. And that voice, it said, I just taught them what they wanted to know, and I was out of there. I was like, wow, okay, all right. And then about 10 seconds later or 30 seconds later, it comes back and said, they actually thought I was quite mean. And I sort of gasped, and I was like, how could anybody think that you're mean? It just doesn't resonate with me. And then the picture was gone. But I actually asked the trainer, I said, what was Dolores Cannon like? I said, you trained under her, you did the beginning training, what was she like? And she said, word for word, she said, she just taught us what we were there to learn, and she was out of there. And I started laughing on the inside. I was like, okay, all right. And then she carried on, and then about 10 seconds later or 30 seconds later, and said, well, actually some of us thought she was quite mean. And I was like, oh. It was word for word. And then so I carried on and did the past life regressions, which I just found so absolutely fascinating. Dolores Cannon sort of went to the back of my mind a bit. So then after that, I did the past life regressions, and I just resonated with it. I was just so absolutely fascinated and so curious, and it was healing them instantly, and then they could move on with their life, and it was releasing so many deep emotions, stuck emotions. It was just beautiful. It was so empowering for people. And then I remember I was in the shower once, and I had this vision, and all I saw was all these people just lined up everywhere, and they were just lining up, and they were just so lost. They just lost their soul spark. They weren't even aware that they had a soul spark. That's how lost they were. And I remember just coming out of the shower, and I was as pale as anything. And my wife said, "What's the matter?" And I told her my vision, and I said, I feel like that's what Dolores was feeling, the responsibility of everybody. Like I said, how could Dolores see that many people? There was tens of thousands of people just waiting. So I had a sense of this is why she needed to teach it. And then July 20 came, 2018, and that was a really important date for me. I was hanging out the washing, and then that same voice came back, and it said, "You're going to learn my way, so hurry up and do it now." And I've always followed my intuition, so I didn't even finish hanging out the washing, and I signed up for the level 1 course. And it took me a couple of days to finish the course. I was just absorbed by her, and that date was really, really important because I went into the level 2 course, which I found Julia Cannon, and she is just such a rock star. And for me, more importantly, I found a lady called Suzanne Spooner, and we just hit it off, me and Suzanne, and I just became so absorbed in everything that she said, every word that she said. I was just absorbed, and I was just sucking it in like a sponge. And I'd spend every break with her, just going over questions on what to do and clients and what she does. And then she'd send me some homework, and I'll go and do the homework in the hotel, and then I'll come back in the morning. I'd come back earlier and see her about 20 minutes before the class. But she was telling me what to do, but I was getting an understanding of why she wanted me to do it. So Suzanne Spooner was a very, very important piece of my journey, and I'm so, so grateful for Suzanne and Julia. And then level 3 came, and you have to be doing QHHT for at least 12 months before you can apply for the level 3 certification. And then the level 3 certification came, and they were doing it in Byron Bay, which is only 30 minutes away from me. And so I got in contact with Suzanne Spooner because I didn't really feel ready. I'd only been doing it for 12 months. But she fully had my back and said, "Yeah, you're fine." And it was an opportunity that I just couldn't miss. But the funny thing was when I asked Julia Cannon about it, her first question was, "When did you do the level 1? And I said, the 20th of July, 2018. And the date that level 3 started was the 20th of July, 2019. So the lesson is, if you get a voice in your head or a gut feeling to do something, go and do it, especially if it's screaming at you. And my life has never been the same since. I'm very much living my purpose, and my purpose came from my very first QHHT experience, and my purpose is just to remind people that they do have that spark within them. And that's it. It's as simple as that. If I make it more complicated than that, well, then that's my ego trying to complicate things. But that is my purpose in life, is just to remind people that they have a spark within them, life isn't about just going to work and paying the bills. There's more to life than that. It's my job just to remind them and just to try and be the absolute best QHHT facilitator that I can and represent Dolores Cannon herself and try and keep it pure. And it's such a beautiful experience, and I'm so grateful and so honoured, and I'm just so blessed to be living my purpose. And it wasn't easy. I had to overcome so many fears, even fears of doing these videos. I had to overcome that, but that is my story, and it's really weird, but it's the honest truth. And I guess at the end of the day, I'm just living in such gratitude for my own intuition, for Dolores Cannon, and for Suzanne Spooner and Julia Cannon, and everybody who has helped me on the way. I just thank them so much, and I'm so grateful.